I'm at Hyrox Brisbane and I want to show the behind the scenes of how I actually film Hyrox races on the floor. First off is the camera gear. I want to have a minimal rig, not too heavy, so I don't get weighed down when I'm running around filming the races. So the body is a Sony FX3. The reason I chose it is because it's a low light beast. Dual base ISO of 800 and 12800. And it's got a cooling fan so it doesn't overheat during filming sessions. My go-to lens is the Sony G Master 70 to 200mm f2.8 Mark II. From shooting a lot of Hyrox races, I learned that you need a lot of range. I used to use a 24 to 70, it was not enough, so I upgraded to this and it's well worth it. It is a very expensive lens, so even renting this out for the weekend is way bang for your buck. I have an ND filter on the lens. It's a Nisi 1 to 5 stop variable ND. The reason for this is to control the light that comes in when I'm shooting at the higher base ISO of 12800. Up here is the top handle. I love this thing. It's more ergonomic, more comfortable for me. I used to shoot normally and that would cramp my hand over the course of the weekend and my hand would legit be sore for weeks. Final piece on this rig is a base plate. The main reason is that I can just prop it down on the floor or on a table very easily. As for additional gear that I do keep on me, I have a spare battery, so in total 2. One battery can last me about 2 to 3 races depending on the type of shots I film. Sometimes I bring a shotgun mic. I don't have it here with me, but that's if I really want to go run and gun and not just use the audio or the wireless microphone. Segue into that is the wireless microphone. You're currently hearing it now. It's more so if the client wants to do more talking head stuff. Okay, let's talk camera settings. I shoot in 4K 60 FPS, so I can slow down the footage if I need to in editing. I shoot in S-Log 3, so I have better control when I'm color grading. The FX3 has a dual base ISO of 800 to 12800, so I shoot at 12800 to keep the noise and the grain as low as possible. 12800 can be bright at times, so I have an ND filter to adjust the light that comes into the camera. As for the white balance, it will depend from venue to venue. I always set a custom white balance setting because the lighting at Hyrox venues can be pretty inconsistent. One method is to point the camera at something that's meant to be white and adjust your custom white balance from there and then make it look white. The second method is I have an app on my phone that I just got from the App Store and it judges the white balance for me and I just apply it to my camera. Shutter speed is always going to be double the frame rate that I'm shooting at. And for the f-stop, it's just the lowest that the lens can do. In this instance, it's a 2.8. I stick with a low f-stop so I can get as much light in and get better background blur with my subject. Next, I just want to quickly talk about my exposure. So first off, I've already spoken about ISO, but I'll say it again. 800 isn't enough, so I shoot at 12800. These cameras, they have a multimeter and I don't trust them. They tell you like the amount of light that's coming in. I don't trust it at all. So I mainly use zebras to identify specific brightness levels on what I'm shooting. For highlights, I use a plus 94 zebra. For skin, I stick to about 70 plus. This varies from lighter to darker skin tones. So I adjust the ND filter until I see the zebras slightly appear on the subject's skin. I like very slightly overexposing to keep some detail in the shadow because I know I can bring it down when I edit the footage. I want to quickly talk about a camera bind that I use when I'm recording. For most people, they use a dedicated record button on the camera body, right? For me, I like using the custom buttons that's on the lens. This is obviously lens dependent, but this one has 3 custom buttons that you can use for anything. So I set the dedicated custom button on the lens as a recording function. So what this looks like is I'm holding the top handle comfortably with my right hand, my left hand is holding the lens, and my thumb or my index finger can record or hit record, and I can control the zoom at the same time. So for me, I don't have to fiddle with hitting another button, but it's just the way I like to do my workflow. So when you're filming a Hyrox, you'll most likely be filming from the spectator area. Just because we have these big expensive cameras doesn't mean we get special areas or special privileges. Unless you work for Hyrox or are working with a Hyrox partner like Pruma that can give you access to certain areas, you'll be in the spectator area. So with that in mind, you need to remember to be respectful to people around you because they are, watching friends and family race. And so you don't want to be bumping into them and trying to get in front of them without asking nicely. I've never had an experience where I've asked someone if I can push in front and that they've said no. if you just ask nicely, you should be sweet. As for the orientation I shoot in, it really depends on what the client wants. For me, it's for social media content, so I shoot vertically to get the most quality out of my camera. If I want more documentary style, or my favorite style actually, horizontal, if the client lets me, I'll do that. Now I think this is one of the most important things, is the variation of the angles that you get. So to keep it simple, you want a wide, a medium, and a close-up shot. I'll go into more detail on each station, but if you keep these in mind of your shot list, your videos that you capture are going to be so much more better than just shooting wide all the time. Before we move on, my favorite shot is the low angle shot. The low angle shot makes the athlete appear more powerful, and personally I think it looks more cinematic. So we're going to go station by station, and I want to talk about the angles that I take and the type of shot that I take for each station, and just my general thought process when I'm filming at these stations. Alright, so we're at the ski now, and it really depends on the venue, but the skis generally are pretty tight. It's kind of luck of the draw of where you'll get it, but generally I like to be where the back of the ski is facing me so I can see the front of the athlete. That's the angle I prefer. Sometimes you get the athlete on the other side and all you can see is their back. You just got to make do. This is what I would consider my wide shot. You can see the athlete, you can see the machine, you can see the background with the spectators. This is what I would call a medium shot. So it's less background, more of the athlete. And as you can see, I'm following the athlete, creating motion in the shot. This is my close-up shot. So it's between the ski. It's much more zoomed in, as you can tell. I'm trying to get the facial expressions of the athlete. This is another close-up shot. It's the stats on the ski erg. This is kind of like a side angle of the athlete following the motion. I would consider this a medium shot. All right, this is a more close-up shot following the athlete from the side angle. As you can see, it's very zoomed in. Now we've got the sled. My favorite position to be in usually is to try to get dead center with the athlete, so I can get them coming towards me and get them going out. If I really want, I can shift my angle left or right to get like 45 degrees. But again, it's going to be, you know, what's available to you with how many spectators there are. Sometimes all you can get is a side shot, and that's okay. This is a close-up shot. I'm getting their feet or the shoes as they push the sled. This is the wide shot. You can see most of the station, the athlete pushing the sled. This is a medium shot. You can see mainly the sled and just the athlete. This is a low angle shot. This is my favorite shot. It really makes the athlete look powerful. Depending on your zoom and focal length, you can get your wide, medium, and close on these shots. This is an example of a side angle shot. So depending on the side, you can go wide, you can go medium, or you can get real, as close as you can, get some emotion. Alright, next is the sled pull. So very similar to the sled push. I do want to stay in line with the athlete, get those low angles, get the front on, and then going back as well. And also, if you want, you can also get really good side shots, follow them as they pull the sled. Alright, this is how I get my low angle shots when I'm up against the barricade. I zoom in, and I get real low as I can to get this awesome low angle shot of the athlete pulling the sled. See the sled itself, it's got some foreground blur, really frames the subject, well I think, makes it look more cinematic. It's a really cool shot, my favorite, the low angle shot. On shot, this is more like a medium shot, I would say. Depending on the lens you have, you can try zoom in more. For the sled pull, this is one of my favorite close-ups. It's focusing on the shoe and the rope together of them walking back. So this is a wide shot. You've got the athlete pulling the sled. This is a wide shot. You can see multiple athletes. You can see a lot of the environment of them doing the sled pull. Next up, I got the burpees. The burpees, you have more opportunity, because most of the time it's either 4 lanes, so you got 4 opportunities to shoot them at different angles, or you got 2 really big lanes. You got to find the spot of your wide, medium, close, and I'll try to take you through that now. This is more like a wide establishing shot when they come in to the burpee station. More medium shot, them going to the floor, coming up, following their motion. This is what I have to deal with. I always have the judges to get in my shots. They're just doing their job, it's okay. All right, this is what I would call a wide angle shot. You can see a lot of the station, the background, the environment, but you can still see them doing the burpee. This is more of a medium shot. You've got most of the athletes covering the frame and get them jumping. This is the low angle shot. I like them getting to the floor and following them in motion. Oh, this is a low angle shot, following the athlete go down to the floor. Just sitting on the row, they're not going anywhere for about 3.5 to 4 minutes. The angle I like to go is directly in front of them, and I can shift 45 degrees to the left or the right, and I can get my wide, medium, and close shots. A wider shot, as you can see, both the athletes into the frame, just having a good time, clapping about, see it all. This is a medium shot. I like to follow the athlete as they row back and forth. This is a close-up shot. You can clearly see the emotion in the athlete as they row, exerting and capturing emotions is what you want to do. This is my low angle shot, following the athlete. You can get close-ups and medium shots with this, depending on the lens that you use. For the farmer's carry, the way you film this is very easy. They come in front on, there's two laps. It's very easy to get the angles that you want. This is a wide angle shot. You see them coming into the station with the farmer's carry. This one, we stay low and we follow them as they cross over to the next lane. That's one of my favorite shots. The partner picking up the kettlebell as well. This is my close-up shot. I try to stick with the kettlebell. So focusing on the kettlebell and trying to stick with it as much as possible. Here's another angle I like to use when they're in the other lane. You got that foreground separation from the barricade, just following the athlete go through the station. Seventh station, the Sandbag Lunges. There you got plenty of opportunity here because there's multiple lanes that they come up and down on. Depending on how many spectators there are, find your spot, try to get your wide, medium, close. And what I like to do with the lunges is keeping my focus point kind of mid-level, so like their torso, and just following them up and down as they do their lunge. Creates this really nice effect when you edit the video. So this is more wide angle. You can see the station, athlete doing the lunge, right? This is a medium shot. I like following the athlete go up and down. As you can see, I'm sticking to the focus point of the midsection. Oh, as we got it here, I like this shot as well, where you see the athlete do the transition of the lunges. So this is the low angle shot. As you know, it's my favorite. Really cinematic, makes the athlete look powerful, and you can get really nice close-up shots depending on your focal length. It looks really cool. Don't forget to get your close-ups showing emotion. We like a bit of struggle here. We like, exerting effort. Makes it really good for an edit. And another cool shot as well you can do is go side by side if you can, depending on the spectator. Follow the athlete side by side. So before I forget to mention, obviously you got to film some runs depending on the venue, the way the track layout is done. Most of the time you can only catch one side of the arena, so mainly, for example here, mainly capturing their left side. Sometimes you can go to the other side, capture their right side, but most of the time you are limited to one side. When it comes to filming them run, a few things you could do. You could do a static shot, wide, medium, close. You could do a following shot, wide, medium, close. You get a low angle shot. The list goes on, but you kind of just make do with what you have in terms of the venue. So this is a wider shot following the athletes run past. This is a more medium shot, closer, following them through. A lower angle shot. This is about waist level shot, following the athlete run through. And if you have access, you can go underneath the barricade to get this really cool, pretty much on the ground shot of people running past. So if you're able to catch your athlete go past, you get a really nice angle. Finally, we're at the last station, the Wallballs. So when it comes to filming the Wallballs, sometimes this can be the busiest station depending on what category you're filming. Personally, for me, I do prefer where I get to see the back of the athlete so you can see the timer as well. And then you can shift 45 degrees left to right, depending on what you want to get. But if your athlete is face forward, that's still fine too. You can make it work. Wide, medium, close shots are going to work just fine. So this is considered a wide shot. You can see the target and the athlete doing a wallball. And this is a more medium. We're just kind of just following the top half of the athlete going up and down. Again, following the motion. I always love following the motion when it comes to filming Hyrox. This is my favorite close-up shot. I just follow the wallball as it gets thrown onto the target and back into the hands of the athlete. And this is the most important one. Once they finish their 100 wallballs, follow them to the finish line. This is when the athlete's obviously facing towards you. You can still get some really cool angles. You can go wide, you can go medium, right? You can even still follow the ball. You get some really good shots. 3 mistakes when filming Hyrox from my personal experience. One is bringing too much gear. Gimbals, massive monitor, V-mount batteries. I don't think it's necessary. The rig can get pretty heavy, you can get in the way when you're trying to shoot some angles, and even just moving around can be pretty cumbersome. Unless you love shooting with a big rig, you don't need it. Number 2 is not getting your exposure and your colors right. In these venues, the lights can be very inconsistent. It could be too orange or too blue, too bright, too dark. You got to make sure in your settings it's dialed in properly. 3, and I think this is the biggest one, is making your footage look like it was filmed on a phone. When clients hire us to film their races, we want high quality, professional looking content. So if your content looks like it was filmed on a phone, you're shooting too wide, everything's in focus, you need to get lower, closer, create separation with the subject, and your footage will look amazing. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully I covered enough of what it looks like for me filming on the Hyrox floor. There's definitely something that I missed in there. Obviously there are a lot more things that go behind it, but I just wanted to try and keep this as simple as possible. So hopefully any of this information in this video helped you out, and good luck with filming on your next Hyrox race.